There is surf today. We managed to drag this young man out of the water. He was like scoring waves. So apologies, Mr. Steezy Sawyer.
Oh, good, bro.
Welcome.
Did a bit of R&D on a beach break. Just it's hard to do R&D on a point break, you know, because
Yes.
you got the rocks, you got the gullies. You have to come in this side, go that side. So if it's a beachy, you just line up all your fins in the sand, put all my boards in the beach, and I just go chop and change.
We had to ring Des, his pops, the infamous Des Sawyer, who waved Steve out of the water and was like, "You're late for the interview."
It was actually the first time he's come down to the beach in
How's that?
She's months, bro, months.
That's
So
ironic, eh? So it was meant to be.
It was meant to be. Lucky he was right there. And he was calling me, and I'm like, "Hey, what's Kai saying now, bro?"
Why is the bully calling me?
Yeah.
Well, thanks for taking time out. And thank you to the Green Room for having us here. Thanks to my sponsor, Seasick Threads, the best board bags out of Australia. Thanks to my associates at Wavescape. And thanks to you, Mr. Steezy Sawyer. I'm embarrassed to ask this. How many times, is it 2 times Longboard World Champion? Or
Once.
Once.
It's one's not enough. If it was twice, I'd be satisfied, but I'm still a little bit hungry for another one, you know?
You got an appetite for that second title.
Yeah. I'm trying to get my boards dialed in, all the different fins and placements, and you know, with a log, there's just so much, like there's so many different variables, you know, and everything's handmade in the factory, and it's like a little bit over here, a little bit over there, makes a big difference, you know. So
Sure.
I haven't really made the same board twice. Not that I've really tried, because I've always tried to evolve the board or develop the board or something, you know. So it's an ongoing search. I'm not lost. I'm just searching. Yeah.
As long as you keep going, and that quest for would you call it the perfect board? Is there such a thing?
I haven't found it yet. No.
And you've written quite a. I mean, Takayama's boards. I mean, they must be right up there, hey?
Actually, I had one of his boards on the beach today. Funny enough, and it's still my
needs
favorite.
work, Michael.
No, it's still my favorite. It really is. It's just unfaulted, you know. There's just no faults with it. I mean, if I had a fault, I want another one. It's different, you know. But with that board, it is what it is. It's primo. So
Amazing.
yeah, it's insane. I mean, the longboards scene, it's like, and they never die. You know, the boards, they kind of they last, and you can pull them out of the racks years later, and you'll find a new love for it, you know. So I think if I had to surf the same log every day, I wouldn't be as enthusiastic about surfing. I had a break when I was just making boards in the factory, flat out for about 3 weeks every day. Wake up with my coffee, go into the factory, forget to eat, come up at like 4, have a bite to eat, go back down, check out some stuff, and then close up at like 7 or whatever, you know. And then I made myself a board. And then I'm like, I'm not working. For the next 2 weeks, I was just surfing every day.
Nice.
So it's like, you know, you get a little bit stale, and you need a little bit of change, you know. Traveling's the same thing, you know. Surfing
And a bit of
JBay,
self-love, you know.
a little bit of self-love, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to treat yourself every now and again, and then you think, but where's all the money going? And you're like, oh wait, I've been making myself boards as well.
Cool. So let's rewind a little bit for those of you who don't know Steezy Sawyer too intimately. Let's try and get him to get all vulnerable for us. Grew up in JBay under the tutelage, mentorship, fathership of your, you know, the legendary shaper Des Sawyer. What was it like growing up as a kid here?
Jeez, it was amazing. I think it was still within its prime. You know, Andy was there, Kelly was there, Sharon was here in this building, and Billabong was my sponsor. She pulled me in here when I was like 9 years old, and I thought I was in trouble. And she's like, Stevie, which hat do you want? And I was like, uh-oh, what's happening now? So then picked a hat, and she asked me why, and I'm like, because this one's not going to get as dirty. She's like, actually, the green one won't show as much dirt as the black one. So I chose the green one. And then she's like, do you know why you're here? And I'm like, no. So she's like, well, I want to sponsor you. And I'm like, what, Mom? My mom was sitting next to me. I'm like, can I? She's like, it's up to you. So that stage, everything was just still at the peak. You know, there was 5 different Billabong contests within South Africa, the junior series. There were Rip Curl series, there were Lizard series, there was a Gotcha series, there was like flipping contests falling out of your ears, you know. So, and the community was amazing. Ryan Payne was the sponsorship head, you know, and the team manager, and what an awesome dude, you know. So he was like the big brother. And I'm forgetting a lot of names, but it's just like that was the scene, you know. It was just like a real surfer putting the real kids into the place, and like there was grom abuse, you know. There was like it was still a little bit grungy, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Gritty.
it became all sensitive and out of date and solo vibes, and yeah, there's not much community like there was when I was just getting into surfing. I felt, you know, there was the older kids that was out in the lineup. They would make you paddle him up, hold onto your leash, you know, they'd zip you down, dunk you under the water, burn you on every wave, tell you to go surf here or there or whatever, you know. It was just like, it was hard. It was a little bit more hardcore than it is now. So I don't know, it's definitely changed.
Okay, so when you talk about these things, because there's a mixed school on all this right now, and we speak about, you know, living in a time that one has to be extremely sensitive and politically, you know, what, you don't have to be sensitive. There are very sensitive people out there, very PC. Like that time when you were growing up as a grom, as a lighty, as we'd call it here in South Africa, some of that, are you saying was a good thing for you as a character?
Absolutely, character building. You know, you think you're a hot shot, someone bigger and better than you and faster than you, you know. It kind of just keeps you leveled. But then in turn, you know, when you get older and you become that bigger, better, faster, harder, stronger. So
It depends on how it's administered as well, as I guess.
exactly what it's for.
Yeah.
So, you know, you get people that get carried away, you get people that do it for fun and people that don't do it. And, you know, I think it's necessary. You know?
So you had a few, what we would call snot clubs in your time as a lighty, as a kid.
You know, I wouldn't say like proper snort clubs, but I mean, I definitely got manhandled here and there for sure. Nothing scary.
Okay.
You know.
What would you say your scariest moment would have been? Just like someone cutting your leash, or just pushing you in the water, or?
I mean, and I haven't actually been fearful for a situation.
Okay.
I mean, I've had situations where they rise, but it's not where I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
No, I don't really care. I need a new rack of teeth sometime. So
yeah, I suppose this dovetails nicely with just about having etiquette in the water, and especially here in JBay, we were chatting about it with Mike Ruthnam, and just understanding that the locals here, they work 9-to-5ers, and they don't necessarily get paid as much as people working in big cities. So they got a graft, and when they get in the water in the morning or in the evening, you know, as visitors coming to JBay, you've kind of got to give them show surf etiquette when you're in the water, right? And give them a bit of respect.
I guess it's just like, it's like, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of analogies I'm thinking of, but it doesn't need an analogy. It's straightforward. It's like, you don't quite go into someone else's space and just do what you want, you know. It's like there's a level of respect. If you can't drive, don't get on the road. You know, you're gonna be told how to drive. You need your learners, then your license, then there's certain rules and timings and certain things, you know. So it's basic, you know. But I think the locals definitely, they have space. I think I find it, I appreciate it when I go overseas to a spot and I see that the locals hold it down. For me, I feel that it just has a better system in the water, you know. When you go to Malibu, I will say this about Malibu.
Okay.
I freaking love it. It's one of my favorite waves. It's absolute chaos. If you can catch the wave, go. It's like almost like that. Obviously, you got to have etiquette with the certain locals. There's a couple of the big dogs that you know it's their spot. But for the general, it's Los Angeles. There's a whole bunch of kooks out there, people that don't know what's going on. And it's just like such a vibe. It's got like this, it's got a century almost of just history, you know.
For sure. Like proper surf heritage there, hey? Going back to like the days of Gidget and all those early surf films. And
for sure.
Quintessentially American Surfer Rosa kind of vibes. You know? Yeah.
So, I mean, in saying that, there's like that wave can handle it because it's a machine from there to over there, and at no stage does it really cut back and carry on. It just kind of grinds along the reef. So there's sections and there's like different parts of the wave, and you can check a guy not really making it. You take off and maybe you close a section on him. Someone's busy taking off on you. You kind of ride up behind them, see if you can like nudge them off politely, you know. But I mean, you can't let that happen everywhere around the world. It has to be a certain wave. It has to be like, it's just got that heritage from forever, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, if something had to happen like that at Supers, it definitely wouldn't fly, because I mean, it's a one-man wave. You can't really share. Like Remy and I sometimes try to do crossovers and stuff, but we both backhand, which is fine. Which is fine.
Even
But
more interesting.
you know, you can't fit two in the barrel. Definitely not. It's a little bit too almondy.
True. Although Shane Sykes did one recently with someone else, like the two of them in the barrel.
Yeah, but that wasn't JBay. That was
No.
that was a proper wave.
Yeah.
JBay is not a proper wave. I'm saying it was head,
Yes.
top
Proper.
to bottom, you know.
8 to 10.
So
Awesome.
you know, if the point got like that, it might be able to handle it on a low tide, but on a high tide, not for sure.
Not happening.
Not a chance.
Yeah, it's interesting going back to what we were saying about, like talking about localism, and like I've seen comments from people on certain platforms saying, you know, how dare you locals say this? The ocean is for everyone. You know, you don't get to make, you know, the rules. But the point we're trying to put across here is that just like the law of gravity, it's a law. If you jump out the building, you're going to hit the floor. And when you come to a certain break where you've got people that have lived here throughout all their lives, you know, they do everything for the town to build it up and be friendly to people when they come here and smile. There's etiquette in the water. It's the laws of surfing, you know, one could call it, you know. And if, like you say, you pull into a space in a car and just start driving like a maniac, the cops are going to arrest you. It's as simple as that. There's a consequence, right?
For sure, you have to sheriff out there, you know.
Yeah.
You have to be custodians of the spot and look after it, and
Yeah.
because if it just got chaos, there would just be litter all over, and it's too late, you know.
Yeah. Let's move on to some more light-hearted, positive stuff.
Hey, this is all light-hearted, man. It's just life.
Yeah, just when you're paddling out, be sure to greet and smile and
Yeah.
wait your turn.
I didn't say that, by the way.
No, I did. And I'm not a local. And I'm not. So, Steve, let's delve into, I mean, you have been to some pretty epic locations around the world, you know, as a longboarder and as a competitor. How do you feel about, I mean, you were we chatted at the Duct Tape last year in Muizenberg briefly. It was awesome to have Joel and his entourage in South Africa. And we talk about how surfing was when you were a growing up. What do you think's, not just before we get onto the longboarding thing and how it's changed, competitive, why do you think the whole surfing community vibe has changed? What's caused that shift?
Definitely, it's all the way at the top. The corporate companies, the boss's boss, somewhere around there, you know. It's lost a little bit of salt. Also, you got to think about like something that someone has a good idea, and if it doesn't get stewarded, you know, it can get a little bit perverted. So there's certain avenues of certain things and people's opinions, and you know, I just think it's such it's a non-competitive sport initially. It's an art form. It's a release. It's a find yourself. It's a get mood, almost die, crying, come back to life, get a new excitement for it. It's like there's so much more to it, you know. So to like put it in a box of people judging it and having an outcome determine your happiness and your wealth or whatever, it's like it's a big ask. It's not like a long jump. Whoever jumps from here to there is going to be the winner. It's like it's each unto owns, you know, understanding and interpretation. So surfing it's a hard thing to put into one box, you know. So it's not that it's been perverted. It's just like you understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah, lost in translation.
It
It's
can
like
be
Chinese whispers. You know, what starts with good intentions ends up being something that they've created without even realizing how they've done it. kind of
Yeah,
thing. It's like
not everyone sees it the same.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to voice their own little way of how they see it, and it's like, I'm going to take this side, I'm going to take this side, and it's like, it gets a bit chaotic, you know.
So you were a shortboarder when you were younger, and
Strictly.
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 Okay. because now you've matured into what I see as a surfer who, much in the same mold as a Joel Tudor, loves to, and we've seen Joel mature into who he is. You love to surf any sort of alternate craft, whether it's, and you love the retro stuff because you like. I think you wish you were born in the 1970s or
100%.
something like that. That's the vibe I get from you.
Totally.
He's a musician as well, so you can catch him jamming, and he's that dude from the 1970s in that van in California, playing music on the beach.
If I could choose a stage, it would be with Margot and the crew. That'd be the days.
Yeah.
But here I am. I'm not. Yeah, I got nothing else to be. I'm so thankful to even be in this day and age. It's really a pleasure being alive.
Yeah.
And having a good community around me personally. I've got some amazing friends. I've got amazing people that I can confide in. That we can go on rants, we can talk, we can surf, we can shut up, we can go fishing, go play a game of pool, whatever. So I think it's very important who you surround yourself with. If you hang with kooks, you'll be a kook.
There we go. Yeah. Bad associations spoil useful habits.
Sure.
So when did you make the shift from shortboarding to longboarding, and what was the motivator? Did you wake up? Did you have an epiphany?
So the Eastern Province.
Tell me you had a life-changing moment.
I've had one or two for sure. Eastern Province was short a kid and under 12 for the SA champs, and then I filled the spot. My dad made me a board. And it was a proper thruster longboard with like 3 glass on, fins, in the back. And went to Muizenberg, had the initiation over there. They tied our leashes from our neck to the next person's ankle and crisscrossed like this in a circle. And then they threw all these like rotten fish guts and stuff from the harbor on us, and we couldn't move.
Terrible
and someone had
stuff.
to move. We got the bucket on, and then we
Someone
had to go
could
wash
really
it.
have been hurt doing
That was
that.
great. So it was fun. Some kids were just like, no, not me. And like the kid that was like moving the whole time, they tried to throw the bucket on him, and he moved for the whole bucket. Now everything's on the beach, and they're like, all right, we can't do anything more. So go wash off in Muizenberg, the most sharky zone.
Nice.
Select a surf there the next day. It was great. That was one of the most mild initiations that I've seen or had, which is great.
Passage of rights.
Thank you, guys. It's nice to know that there was still that gesture,
Yes. Very good.
But
fish guts. Loves them.
Yeah,
to this day.
Yeah. To this day. So
you that's where you started to
so it
form
was
this
then,
love.
I was about 11, 12. So I
Okay.
had surfed the longboard the first time then. A couple of years later, they needed to fill another spot. Then my dad made me an 8-footer because under 16s could surf 8-footers then. And then I think I got a second, and then the next year I won. And yeah, that was probably when I was like 14 or so. So I was longboarding around then, the performance longboards, And then surfing shortboards got really intense, and I was trying to do the QS and grind. So then there was more traveling, less time for the fun longboarding. Smaller days became training days, paddle days in the gym, here or there. So I had a full-on schedule that I couldn't kind of neglect. And then I just got burnt out. I wanted to quit, was in America, decided to move to Austin, Texas. And I was out there for a 3-month stint, and I was planning on staying there. That was my life. I was happy playing music, and that was it. And then one night I got super depressed, and I couldn't understand it. And I was like freaking screaming at God, just like, what is happening with my life? And I had this simple diagram that my dad said to me. He's like, God's over here and you're over here. If you're out of line, things that are for you won't kind of fall on top of you. They won't happen in front of you, So when you get in line, things happen out of the supernatural, and just life just turns great, It really does. So I realized that I was out of line, putting myself in this place when I've neglected everything that I've been given and kind of molded into, So
Wow.
yeah, it was my own doing instead of what I had been given to me, So everything that I'd been working for, I kind of just blew out the window. Came back to South Africa. I felt like I had to go home, and I just turned 21. And then
Sure, let's just take cognizance of that. You were still like emotionally growing as a human. You're like a very young age, actually, at the age of 21. you know, in the.
I was a young 21, but I mean, I'd been living in a family home from the age of 6 to the age of 18 with 20 to 12 to 20 people living in my house in a Bible school that my dad and mum run.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm very cultured with having older brothers and sisters. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm more mature, but it's just I had that sort of, that cognitive mindset to just get cultured with people, you know. So then I was able to admit to myself that I was out of line. Pulled back to JBay and started longboarding. Did some SA champs, and then I realized if you did well in the SAs, you could go overseas to China, where they had like 5 events in a year. Well, 5 years in a row of events,
Gotcha.
which is like the championship tour, a 1 event title. And I was like, hey, it's a lift. Let's see if we can get there. So they had SA champs that are right. I ended up winning, and I ended up going.
Goofy footed, by the way.
Go over to China, get blasted my first heats, Ben Skin and Jensen Silver, 9s and 8s and whatever. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even nose ride. I literally couldn't get to the nose on the left. Saw the level of performance. I was like, okay, I'm going back to JBay and I'm going to train. I'm going to go left every day, twice a day. And I'm going to go and win that contest. So trained every day, twice a day. Some days I'd hate it. I'd come out screaming, I can't freaking do this. I can't do this. It's just like, because I'm competitive, you know, you have to kind of have that thing.
Yes.
And that was my drive. I was like, okay, I need to get over this hurdle. And then it started clicking. Went over back to China for the second year. Made it to the finals. Surfed against a lot of my heroes. And then I was like, wow, this is happening. I had priority. Gave an average wave away. Didn't think it was a 6. The guy got an 8 or something like that. Put him in the lead. 5 minutes left. I had another one. Wasn't quite there. So I gave that heat away. And I was like, jeez, I was so close. So I'm right there. So then that's when I was like, all right, I'm going full out for this, you know. And it was still the performance days, which is great because, I mean, I just come off the shortboard. So it was like more suited towards my surfing, you know. I wanted to be more relaxed, but I also wanted to have that sort of edge and putting the ball on the rail and smacking the foam. And then as that developed, I realized that there's a different way to surf, you know. So it's like, if I want to go upside down, surf a shortboard. If I want to cruise, catch lots of waves, have a good time, have effortless surfing, you know, surf the log. And it gives you that same competitive bite back. It's like, you're bored, you can't just do anything on that thing. You have to know how to, you have to like tickle it here, and you have to do this and suggest this for it to get that outcome. So yeah, logging for me has changed my life. It really has. It's just an amazing thing. And also chatting to Joel and those guys that I confide in as well about certain things, you know, they've brought so much understanding to my personality even, you know, just the way I approach a surf. And it's not that I've been brainwashed by them. They just showed me certain parts of light that I really think it just suits me, you know?
Yeah. It resonates with your being. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, as I said, I mean, logging and you just, it's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, and who cares how many fins you got on your board? I don't give a rip. You know, you can put 10, you can put 2, you can put none. It's just, what are you trying to do? How are you trying to surf? What are you getting out of your surf, you know? It's a very selfish sport. Very idealistic. It's, but I mean, we all born selfish, you know, like, I need this, I need food, I need this, help me. And the hardest task is to learn how to not be selfish and be more selfless, you know? So,
yeah, it's life. And, but at the same time, you know, it may be a selfish sport, but it's also, surfing, you know, if you didn't surf, you'd be probably a nastier kind of guy than what you are. Surfing is that release. like you say, it's a release. It's like it allows us to be better people.
I probably would have done motocross.
Well, that's awesome. And so world title, when did you win it? What year?
2018.
2018. Okay. Come on, bro. It's time for another one.
I agree.
I agree. You're working there. You're working towards it. Your good friend Veedster, eh? He's a legend, eh?
Absolute sweetheart, bro. What a lekker dude, bro.
Yeah. I dig it when he comes to town and seeing you guys together. I think you push each other. as
Beavis
well.
and Butthead.
Beavis, is that what you call it? Beavis and Butthead. What he said to me, like, what is it? Don't fear the blade. What? Fear the blade. What is it?
Fear the Spear.
Fear the spear.
Yeah, that's Michael Tuck's boards.
Yeah.
The spear.
Fear the spear. No, they are absolute beautiful things.
And Michael, oh man, so much love for Uncle Mike. He's, you know how much he's just such a giving dude. You know, he would give everything away and have nothing and still give. Like he's just got that heart. He doesn't give a rip about what he has. He just wants you to have what he can give you plus, you know. It's amazing, bro. That guy's looked after me, and if you go and meet him, you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about. He's such a legend, bro. And he can talk your ear off as well, for sure.
Yeah.
So amazing. He's got so much to talk about, always.
Yeah, some of the best boards in the world. Michael Takayama, you got to pay huge respect. And yeah, it's people like that you come away feeling better about yourself. You know, they make you feel good about yourself, and almost they instill in you this wantonness to be better people in life. You know, I know a couple people like that in my life who are exactly the same. They just super positive energy, force, giving, generous, love.
Yeah.
So where to next, Stevie? What's next on the cards?
Brazil, duct
Okay.
tape. Joel's invited me back for another duct tape.
Nice.
Thanks, Pops. So that's going to be in May. Heading to Rio de Janeiro. There's
Cool.
going to be a lot of good people, a lot of good things happening.
Sure. If it's anything like the Cape Town duct tape, which was like a week of just sending it and good vibes, and just Brazil's going to be off the hook.
So you know why he doesn't, I asked him, you know why he doesn't do a live feed? He wants people to be there at the event. It's the event, it's the community on the beach.
Yes.
You know, and if you've seen old footage of surfing back in David Nuiva days and Nat Young and stuff, but the Oaks were on the beach in thousands,
Hordes,
hundreds and
right?
thousands,
Yeah.
you know. The beaches were plagued with people. So, you know, it's, I don't know what happened. I would love to know, but come down and watch it. You know, we all want the community there. It's so much more of a vibe when the beach is just packed and you can't even walk through. Huntington still gets like that. But I was there last year and it wasn't actually as packed as it was back in 2015.
That's interesting, eh?
For 2015, there must have been almost 1 million people on the beach. I stood on the
Wow.
pier and both sides was just like from the
Rammed.
flipping, from the water's edge to the promenade. It was just like down for miles. It's crazy, dude. Can't believe it.
That's cool. Well, I remember Gunston 500 in the days, you know, like in 98, I was like there, 1987 to 1992. It was heaving. That pier was packed. You know, the big orange towers, and it was like you
What
say.
happened, bro?
What happened?
Yeah,
Come
what
back
happened?
to the beach. Come watch. Come and just feel the energy, man. And like, but you're not going to have a problem in Brazil with that. I mean, because
No, I think
the
it's gonna be-
Brazilians like a good fiesta.
There's definitely certain places that pull more of a crowd.
Yes.
Japan, there was quite a lot of people. I wouldn't say more than like 2,000. I don't know. It was a little while ago. Maybe there were more. Maybe 3, 4, 5,000. I don't know. 100,000, let's say.
Let's round it off. About 100,000.
No, but I mean like
It's a good amount.
the contest have kind of been like, there's definitely lots of fans, family, friends of family, and like that, you know, on the beach.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Awesome. Anything else you want to say? Or you want to touch on?
fishing.
Fishing.
Oh,
You smoke your fishing.
I smoke my fishing, man,
What are we talking? Like deep sea or shore?
off the shore.
Off the shore.
Yeah.
What you pulling there? What you pulling these days?
My favorite fish to go for is a cracker.
Okay,
Muscle cracker, yeah. Bunsi. Black mussel cracker, more the other side, St. Francis side. But JBay, we
Yeah.
get some good fish around here.
Good.
Some cob. I was pulling out cob. A buddy of mine pulled out a 40-kilo cob the other
Oh.
day down the beach.
Wow.
But we got some good fishing around here.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you know much about fishing?
Yeah, I grew up fishing.
Is
in,
it?
In Natal. They're Pamula. by Port
You know
Shepstone.
Pamula?
Yeah.
Bro, the Maish O's. I went and stayed with them.
I've been to their compound.
Love
I had
it.
an interview with the boys,
Oh, really?
so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bro,
But their
what a
fishing is big.
freaking-
Eh?
I love those guys, bro.
Yeah.
The coolest cats, bro. They sponsored me for years.
Really, eh?
Big time. It was so good to me. They gave me so many different kinds of fins, and we would work with this. They had ideas, I had ideas, and that was amazing. Yeah, those guys really support me.
It's ironic because we talk about Takayama, but when I went and interviewed them at their compound, what I call the compound on the farm, not Justin is, but what's the shaper? Gary was actually shaping a Takayama egg
Okay.
for someone
Okay.
at the time.
Yeah, the Donald egg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Epoxy he was doing it.
They flat out with epoxies there. It's
Yeah.
amazing. They're doing the vacuum here. They're doing their own glassing there. Hot wiring. That's
Yes.
I checked their smart putting lekker deep concaves in. I haven't really fiddled with a concave deeper than a 1/4 inch.
So going back to fishing, so did you pull a lot of shad there on the Natal coast?
I haven't done much fishing in Natal.
Okay.
No,
So
but
did they take you fishing when you went and
no, we just
Okay.
surfed there.
Okay.
There were some waves, so we were surfing.
yeah?
And
Zumbi,
Banana Beach.
Banana Beach.
Yeah. Cute spot there. I couldn't believe it. Went to another spot just down the way. It looked identical. I was in the water. I'm like, are you sure we even moved? You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like a little bit of a bridge with a train
Yes,
track,
the
a little
inlet.
rock pool
That's
over
it,
there.
yeah.
Like,
But beautiful water. Eh?
so cute.
Yeah, my aunt had a house in Umzumbi.
Okay.
So
Is that further north?
so if you come out of their farm,
Yeah.
it's the just that they come out at Umzumbi.
Okay.
You get this where their surf school, where their lodges. That's Umzumbi.
Wasn't that Banana Beach?
Umzumbi.
Mzumbi.
Yeah.
Where's Banana then?
Bananas further towards Port Shepstone, I think.
Okay.
And then you got Hibberdine that side.
Okay.
But that's Umzumbi, and my aunt had a house at Umzumbi. So as a kid, I used to go there for the summer, you know, and stay with my aunt, and then surf Umzumbi, and it's a beautiful part of the.
Jeez,
It almost
it's so
reminds
cute.
you of like a lot of like Hawaii, that beach and
The most like Hawaii that we got on this coast.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then also besides Belito. Belito's got some
Yes,
Hawaii-like vibes. The waves break hard and that thick granuled sand, you
Yes.
know.
proper
Yeah.
gets in your baggies.
We've got an amazing coast and I don't quite get to explore it like other people. Like Dale Staples, man, that guy picks fruit all day from this country. He's all over.
Yeah, he is.
All over. If you want to know waves, chat to that. But he probably won't tell you not.
No. He keeps it. We let's catch up after the duct tape,
We'll do some more.
and then we'll get like let's pick some subjects and get like a deep about something. Stevie Sawyer, thanks for your time, bro.
Absolutely. Shout,
legend.
Steve.
No, thank you.
Lekker, bro.
Thanks for coming on Shredding the Gnaw.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on Shredding the Gnaw, boys. Don't forget, shred the gnaw.
Subscribe.
Shred